Cheers.
Cheers.
Sorry, man. I stole that moment from you. I was just too excited about that. This just hits the spot, man. I miss this.
I miss this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were talking about how like when you were in the States, like you kind of enjoy yourself. There were some issues, but you really missed this time.
Yeah. So like I was saying, like my family's kind of split up right now. So we're bouncing around houses, and like my mom's house had a bunch of beer. So I was drinking Blue Moon beer.
Blue Moon, yeah.
Yeah, which I like it. It's a white beer. You can actually get it in Japan, but it's like insanely expensive.
Yeah, right.
And then over at my brother's house, he had a bit of tequila and some whiskey. And actually, he had this huge bottle of sake.
Oh, really?
Was the picture that did I show you a picture?
No, you didn't send me a picture.
Oh, thought I started.
You showed me a picture of Luna.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Anyways, so he had this huge bottle of sake that I had 1 cup of. So I was dishonest. I did drink some sake. And then over at my sister's place, it was pretty much like White Russians the whole time.
What's a White Russian?
So it's like rum, Kahlua, and like some cream.
Okay.
Yeah, I had that and like champagne New Year's, and
everyone in my family's a wino. Like it was wine the whole time. Like we rarely had a beer. Like there's beer in the fridge, and my dad loves to. My dad's still like, my dad and I are very similar in certain ways, because he took his whole life and moved to Germany.
Yeah.
I took my life and moved to Japan.
Yeah.
But because of that, he like only drinks German beer.
Okay.
Because like in Germany, they have purity laws for beer, so they have to be a certain thing. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to drink any of that American stuff. So he's always like, I need to get this good German beer.
Man, there's some good American stuff though.
He doesn't like IPAs, man. He thinks so.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Not everyone does, but there's some damn good lagers and like there's a lot of good beer.
I know the beer market has changed a lot in America, but this is my dad from like 30 years ago, But anyways, so I'm kind of curious to hear, because you said like the moment you got to Seattle, you really wanted to come home. But what was something that you missed about Japan?
Yeah. So okay, there's a couple things I missed. Like I really missed alone time.
Alone time
for me. Yeah, it was. it's.
Do you get alone time here?
Yeah, I do. I get it at home. I don't spend all the time with my wife and daughter while I'm at home. We do spend a lot of time. But another thing I get is I get about an hour to an hour and a half on the train.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah,
both
that's your
ways.
alone time.
Like I get 2-3 hours by myself on the train. And I really value that time.
Yeah.
For me, it's such a good time for me to just kind of get like reflect and kind of decompress and kind of like transition from work to play and play to work mode. So I felt like I didn't have that while I was in the US, where I'd wake up and it'd be like, okay, cool, you got to take care of Luna now. Oh, all right, the family's gonna do something, or we're gonna go hang out in the living room, or we're gonna go do something. And it's not like I didn't enjoy it, because I did, but I didn't have that period to switch. And I really struggled. I really struggle with that. Another thing is the food, man.
So how long were you in the
10 days?
10 days, okay.
Yeah, not long. I can't digest American food anymore.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah, over lunch.
Oh my God. Dude. Like my mom's not a bad cook.
Yeah.
Neither is my sister. Both of them are great cooks. The food was fine.
Yeah.
But I was sick.
Yeah.
The whole time. I had these horrible stomach aches, and it's like I couldn't digest food.
You know what hit me this time especially was just like how much meat there is in everything.
Yeah.
But then also like, I was in the States for 6 weeks. I was there from Thanksgiving until right after Christmas, pretty much.
Okay.
And so we celebrate Thanksgiving in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Barbecue country,
Yeah.
And I just remember like the cornbread and like the barbecue and like all the oily, fatty stuff. And like I had like like an upset stomach for most of the time that I was there. And then
same.
One thing though that really hit me when I came back up north, because we didn't go out to eat so much. We kind of stayed at home a lot.
Yeah.
But I remember one time my mom made ribs.
Mm-hmm.
And like we've had ribs before in Japan, we've had pulled pork, but like the ribs were so fatty, like fattier than I remember. And it was like so heavy. And like after I had them, I just kind of like, I wanted to puke a little bit.
Yeah,
it was just
dude, I was the same way. My sister made ribs.
Yeah.
And they were delicious.
Yeah.
I was sick as a dog.
Oh yeah.
Later, and I don't think it's any problem that she made. They were fantastic. The food was so good, but I just think I can't digest it anymore, man.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Like it was the same thing. My mom made a big turkey dinner like the night that we came into Seattle.
Yeah,
and the food was all great, but like about halfway through, I just couldn't eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I just lost my appetite.
Yeah. It's like I remember like, so when I came back home from the States and we went up to Niigata, and for the morning I got there, I got some kombu, I got some katsuobushi, I made some dashi, and I made some miso soup with some rice and just, oh my gosh, I felt so much better after that. Just like I felt purified by the Japanese
purified.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, like the big difference is like the proportions.
Yeah.
Because like, I'm going to be honest, like, I mean, I've gained weight this year. One of my goals in 2025 is to slim down again, but you know, so like I don't eat super healthy all the time here, but one of the things that I really notice, I almost never ate vegetables in the US.
Yeah, right. It was, me too. It was like starch or
it was like potatoes with bread and meat.
Yeah.
And that was like the base for like all the dinners that like basically all the dinners that
you have like a handful of vegetables, just a small bit.
Not even that,
really?
Man. I'm trying to look back on it now. Like we would have salad, and like my sister made asparagus. So I ate a bunch of asparagus, but that was it.
Man.
Like looking back, I didn't eat any vegetables.
So like
it's like no wonder I felt sick.
Yeah. So what was like a memorable like dinner that you had one time as a family?
Oh, there was a couple. So you know, I mentioned my mom made a big turkey dinner and it was like the typical Thanksgiving food. So she
even though this was like December?
Yeah. Okay. We sometimes do that for Christmas dinner. And so we prepared a big turkey dinner with mashed potatoes and gravy and stuffing and all the fixins like with rolls and stuff, and it was good. It was really good. No veggies.
Yeah, that's kind of weird for me because like we always have like carrots or broccoli or something.
Yeah. None of that. None of that. Yeah, I was kind of thinking because like I don't think my mom has ever made casseroles.
Oh, really?
But I was thinking at dinner like, man, I could really go for like some casserole.
Yeah.
No,
I get that.
But yeah, so we had that, and like I said, the food was really good. And then for New Year's, I was staying at my sister's house, and they went all out. They got this like Wagyu steak.
Wagyu steak, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wagyu.
Wagyu.
We got the Wagyu over here. Get a little bit of my Americanness.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had Wagyu steak. We had lobster.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. We had crab, I think. Or no, sorry, it wasn't lobster, it was crab.
Okay, crab, yeah.
It was king crab.
Yeah.
And then
Seattle's crab town, you know?
Yeah. And then like this really big Caesar salad that we had, and like mashed potatoes and gravy, and it was like a really extravagant dinner. It was really, really good. But man, I just wanted something a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always felt like everything was so heavy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
I just felt bloated the whole time.
Well, you know what's funny? So I don't know if I've talked about this on the channel, but I heard a statistic somewhere. I don't know how true this is.
Yeah.
But I think like the average daily calorie intake for the average Japanese person is like 1,800 calories a day.
Yeah.
And for American, it's 3,000.
That sounds right.
Yeah. And so, man, when you see the portions and everything, it's just like,
yeah,
yeah,
for sure. So, I mean, I think for me, my experience in the US was kind of a little bit tainted because I felt sick most of the time.
Yeah. But you said there was stuff other than the food, though, that made you kind of miss Japan.
Yeah. So another thing is, this was kind of a weird experience. So I know we kind of trash on America, but I feel like
we do both.
I feel, yeah, we do both. One of the things that really bothered me was how dirty everything is.
Yeah.
Dude. So, I mean, like, look, you go to America and there's garbage outside, right? It's always been like that. America doesn't sort their garbage. It's not like you go to the cities in the US, there's garbage on the sidewalk. It's always been that way. It is what it is, and you get used to it. But I'll tell you something that really upset me this time, and I'm really disappointed, especially because this was a Japanese company.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So we were at SeaTac Airport. So it's the airport in Seattle, right? And so I flew over here on ANA.
Yeah.
Great service, by the way. Like we always choose Japanese airlines. They're so much better than American airlines.
Right.
But so we had great service. We got do you know the bassinet?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got the bassinet seats, which were, oh my God, dude, they're so great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause the story just because I wanna talk about this, but I was shocked. We left the day before Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
We left Haneda Airport. That airport was empty. And it was really crazy to me until I sat there and thought about it. It's like, oh, you know what? Japanese people don't travel during Christmas and New Year's. They go home. Right? Okay, this makes sense. No one's going international.
Yeah.
So the plane was empty on the way there, and it was crazy. We got there in 7 hours.
Really?
That's the fastest I've ever gone to Seattle. Because usually it's like 9.
Dude, yeah, to Boston. Like, so if you take a direct flight to Boston versus you go to Detroit, we chose the cheaper airfare, so we went through Detroit. But regardless whether you go straight to Boston or you just go to Detroit, 12 hours.
Oof.
On the way back, it was 13 hours.
Oh,
yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah, with kids, two kids.
Yeah, and of course they want to get up and do stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh God, that's rough.
But 7 hours is a dream.
Yeah. So I mean, we got the bassinet seats, which are great. You get more leg room. Luna just like fell asleep. As soon as we put her in, so
great.
It worked out well. Hey guys, if you've watched this far, you're gonna love our Austin and Arthur friends.
In the Austin and Arthur friends, you're going to really improve your English listening, and I mean a lot.
Yeah. So for each episode, you'll get English and Japanese subtitles, so you can check your listening and comprehension.
You'll also get access to a members-only community where you can talk with us, the both of us. Mainly me, right?
No, definitely me. For more info, click on the link here or here or here, or in the description box of this video.
Thanks for being our friend.
Woo!
I have no friends.
But anyways, so the trip finished and we were on our way back and we were at the baggage check, the counter where you turn in your suitcases. And
a baggage check, not the baggage claim.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you meet the person at the counter and they give you your boarding pass and you give them your suitcase, right? And I just really want to highlight, this is ANA. This is not an American airline company. This is ANA staff.
In SeaTac.
Okay? So if any ANA people are watching this, I'm very disappointed in you guys because your Seattle branch sucks. Anyways, so we're standing there in line, and first of all, we show up early because it's an international flight. We're not super early. We showed up 4 hours early.
That's pretty early,
right?
Yeah.
But they say usually we want to be like around 3 hours, right? So we showed up super early. Well, God, now you got me saying it. We didn't show up early. We showed up normal.
I think that's a little bit more than necessary. Anyways, but okay.
So we show up and our flight left at 3:45 in the afternoon.
Okay.
And we finally get to the counter at noon.
Okay.
Which I don't think is an unreasonable time to be at the check counter.
To be fair, I try to get to the airport 3 hours before my flight on international flights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first of all, no one's there, and we're standing there in line, and I knew it was weird because other people showed up and was like, "Why is no one here?" And this lady comes out, and she was Japanese, but she spoke English, right? And she's like, "Oh, we're closed."
There's no sign.
There was no sign. They were like, "We're closed. We're gonna open back up like in an hour." And I'm just like, "Dude, we have an international flight. Like, I wanted to get my bags checked so we could make sure
and
we
get the afternoon too, right?
This is the afternoon, right?
Yeah. I can understand if it was like 4 or 5 in the morning, but this is the afternoon.
This is the afternoon. It's like literally at this point we're about 3 hours away from our plane taking off, and I'm just like, I don't want to rush. I just want to get my bags checked. And to give you some like context here, we showed up in Haneda 5 hours early.
Yeah.
Not on purpose, but because we thought it was going to be so crowded with all these people trying to get like travel and holiday. We got through in like literally 5 minutes. It was insane.
Yeah.
But we showed up 5 hours early, and the staff at Haneda were just like, "Okay, cool. We'll take your bag. Boom. Go have fun. Go enjoy yourself and relax." And then this lady's saying like 3 hours before our flight leaves, like we can't even check our bags.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, well, whatever. I guess we'll wait until 12:45 when the thing opens up. And it was then, so I'm waiting in line. I start looking around, and like all in front of, whoa.
We don't have our assistant to come wipe up the mess you made.
Wipe it up. But
just keep on talking. I'm gonna get
all around the check-in counter, right? There's empty pet bottles and used napkins, like all on the ground. And I was looking around like, what is going on here? Yeah. Like you people can't even clean this up. Like this is so, it's disgusting. Like I don't want to walk over somebody's used Kleenex. Like that's so disgusting. So it was so surprising because I've said, I think America's going through a lot of issues right now. And you can definitely tell, in the city, I think once you get out in the countryside, like things are actually kind of really pleasant and nice.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of issues right now, but this was the first time that it just felt like no one cares.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get it. You know, so maybe this is because I'm getting older, maybe because I'm getting more used to living in Japan.
Yeah.
But like, America's really like a country where everyone is out for themselves only.
Yeah.
And, you know, I understand that, you know, so, because I told you, I'm reading a book about Hollywood, and I'm a big Walt Disney fan. I'm talking about like how these people kind of manufactured the popular image of America.
Yeah.
When really, like, what's America? It's a bunch of immigrants who wanted to make money, and so they came to America to make money because they want to make money and have a better life. So you have that culture here, and I really felt that kind of like, hey, you know what? I don't care about you. I'm just going to try to make it work for me.
Yeah, but here's the difference, though. Like, I feel like up until very recently, people had pride.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? America's always been a very selfish country.
Yeah.
Right? Americans are always, like, we're famous for being selfish, right? We're always thinking about ourselves, like, me.
Yeah.
All the time, right? But it feels different now because I feel like people just don't even like they don't even care about themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm okay with just looking disgusting and living in filth. Like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's weird because it's like whenever I go back to America, I feel like things get a little bit dirtier. But you know, I don't necessarily know if that's because it's changing as much as I'm getting more sensitized to it because I'm so used to living in Japan. Because you know, when I think about I mean, the houses are small here, but at least my house is clean. The roads are clean.
Yeah.
You know, people have much more of a, like this, I don't want to say like Kipeki show, but they have like this hygienic conscience where they're like, oh, that's dirty, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I don't know about the rest of the world, but I always used to get really upset. I'll tell you, you probably experience this all the time.
Yeah.
So, back when I used to do ALT work, as an assistant language teacher in a class, and like I was on the JET program, you would do a Kaiwa class.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of the time in a Kaiwa class, you listen to these old recordings.
Yeah.
Where it's people are like, yeah, Japan is such a unique country because it has 4 seasons.
Yeah.
And that.
Does your country have 4 seasons?
Yeah. There's these kind of just absolutely absurd things are being said, right? It's Japan, what's really great about Japan is Japan's such a clean country, unlike all the dirty foreign countries. You know what I mean? And it used to really bother me. I'm just like, well,
F you, man.
Yeah, it's F you, shut up. First of all, Japan's not a very clean country. You can go in places in Tokyo and it's dirty, but to be honest, it's mostly clean.
Yeah.
But, you know what? The biggest lie is Japan doesn't have 4 seasons.
Yeah.
It has wet season and dry season. That's what it has.
Yeah.
Do not tell me that spring and fall are really that different, because fall kind of sucks until you get to late October, and then it's great for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then it starts becoming winter.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. It used to bother me that people used to say that my country was dirty, and now it's God, my country is dirty. This sucks.
Yeah.
You people were right all along.
Yeah, I know. Dude, it's just like I say, so this time when I was over there, I had so many kind of this almost sublime experiences when it came to nature, because I live right next to the ocean, and there's this causeway. Do you know what causeway is? Yeah.
I'm an educated person.
Educated person. Sorry,
I know the big words, the $5 words.
No, so there's an island kind of maybe about a mile out into sea, and it's connected by this causeway that goes in, and so there's a restaurant on that island. And so I was walking the causeway with my dad and my wife and my 2 kids, and there's natural brush, they're actually environmentally protected things. You're not supposed to pick from them, whatever. They almost look like cotton plants almost, but it's really weird. But going through there, the sun's going down, the sky is a beautiful pink. I know people talk about the sunrise and stuff, but I remember one time I went to go see the sunrise in Seattle, and it was so anticlimactic to me. I don't know. There's something about East Coast, the East Coast. It just feels different to me, and I can't really explain it in words.
Do you want to know why? I'll explain why.
Okay, why?
You are on the East Coast.
Yeah.
The sun rises in the east, so it feels more majestic because especially if you're right on the water, you can see the sun coming up. What's really good on the West Coast
is the sun down. Okay. I see your point. But even in Japan though, which is east of east of east, I don't get the same hit from that. I don't know why, but anyways, the sun's going down, the moon's coming up, and maybe it's because of the old coastal towns with all the beautiful colonial architecture with the forest and stuff. But I was just man, this place is so beautiful. Yeah. The ocean is so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just, I would love to, oh shit, wait, the people are horrible here. I don't want to live here. And it's I told my dad maybe 3 times, it's I wish I lived in America, but instead of American people, there were Japanese people here.
Yeah.
Because that would fix so much.
So it's funny you mentioned this, and we talked about this at lunch today, but I recently just watched Big Hero 6 with my wife.
Yeah.
Or
Baymax.
Baymax, as it's known here in Japan. And it's really funny because the characters in the movie are Japanese Americans, and they live in San Francisco, but it's not San Francisco.
Yeah. San Francisco.
It's San Francisco. And it's what if San Francisco was Japanese?
Yeah.
And it was the best thing ever. I looked at there, it was it's this utopian paradise, and it's everything's clean. You have these local communities, which is very American. And there's you see the street trolley, and it's all nice, and it's God, man, I want to go there. That place looks amazing.
Now when you go to San Francisco, you got to be careful to not step in poop.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. It's you have to worry about stepping poop and then getting jabbed with a fentanyl needle.
Seriously, man.
And it's it's embarrassing because it's actually, what if Japan just took over these cities? Wouldn't it be better? You just kind of think that, right?
Yeah. Man, I feel There's so much more we could talk about, but I feel like that's best reserved for another episode. We're already like 30 minutes into this. So if you guys want a part 2 of us crapping on America, saying bad things about America and how dirty America is,
there was some things that I really enjoyed.
Give me one thing before we end.
Shotguns.
Okay, you got to give me a little bit more. What happened with the shotguns?
Okay. So I actually freaked out some of my coworkers because I was talking about this. Of course,
yeah.
Yeah, because I did this to be a little bit antagonistic. I'll be honest, but so I mean, America's a huge gun country.
Yeah, right.
And especially as soon as you get in the countryside, everybody owns guns.
Well, you need it. There's no police.
Yeah. And multiple guns.
Yeah.
And so, I was staying over at my sister's house, and she has a ton of guns, and they're gun people, and I love guns. And so they're like, we're gonna go outside and shoot shotguns.
And targets and stuff?
Yeah. And when I mean outside, I mean like 15 feet from their porch.
Yeah.
Like literally on their property, we walk out the front door.
Because they live in a big farm, so there's lots of space.
They live in a huge farm. There's tons of space. You can't even see the neighbor's house.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just walked outside, set up a little clay pigeon thing, and just shot shotguns right in front of the house. And I took my daughter out there, and we were standing, and so we actually ended up taking a picture of my sister and I. We're both holding shotguns. I did this. I was being antagonistic, but I'm like holding my daughter and holding the shotgun. I'm like, America, And it was really great, and I loved it. Yeah. And I love guns, man. Yeah. I miss
the freedom.
Guns. I miss guns so much.
Yeah,
like I would have so many guns if, like, here in Japan, if it was allowed.
Yeah,
dude, my house would be filled with guns. I love them.
I don't know if this is a great place to end the conversation, but for those of you who are kind of freaked out, please watch our video about guns in America. You'll understand Austin's feeling.
Yeah. And, please don't hate me for this. I know there's a lot of people that don't like guns here.
It's kind of like how in Japan people use like tissues and we use paper towels.
Are you just gonna like equate tissues to shotguns?
No. What I'm trying to say.
Where are you going?
What I'm trying to say is like so in Japan, tissues are seen as like a certain thing, but in America they're seen as a completely different thing.
For sure.
Yeah,
100%.
So like you guys have to watch that episode. Not about tissues, about guns.
Yeah.
But next time we're going to talk about immigration in Japan and America.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And it's going to be a great time, and there's going to be lots of happy things said.
Especially now that you've been drinking a bit. We're going to film it right now, so you'll see it next week.
They actually have to lower the voice or the volume on my microphone because I tend to shout.
Yeah. I forgot to do that this time. I'm sorry. I'm going to do it for the next episode.
I want to be super loud. Probably getting picked up on your microphone too.
All right. See you, man.